Hi everyone, I'm Sir July, and for this slide sets, we will be discussing the immunoglobulins. The B cells may produce antibody molecules of five classes of immunoglobulins designated by letters and usually written as IgM, IgG, IgA, IgD, and IgE. As you can see in this illustration, the immunoglobulin M is a pentamer and it is the largest of all the immunoglobulins. I am used to enumerating my immunoglobulins as D mega, that is IgD, IgM, IgE, IgG, IgA. So we will discuss the immunoglobulins in that sequence. The exact function of immunoglobulin D is unknown. It may be a receptor binding antigens to B cell surface. I remember it as IgD, D for the know, function unknown. How about immunoglobulin M? It is the first antibody produced with primary immune response. For instance, the second test kit from the left is IgM positive. It means that the patient has an early primary infection. On the other hand, the middle test kit is both IgM and IgG positive. Since IgG indicates previous infection, this test kit indicates that there is an active infection on top of the previous infection. Take note that IgM does not cross the placenta because of its size. It therefore implies that in newborns, IgM levels is low at birth as they do not cross the placenta. Infection with CMV, rubella, and toxoplasmosis can raise these levels. For example, a newborn tested positive IgM for rubella. It means to say that the IgM could not have been from the mother because the IgM cannot pass through the placenta. It means to say that the IgM was manufactured by the baby, and it means to say that the patient or the baby rather has an active rubella infection. As a memory aid, IgM, M for mabilis. It is the first antibody produced with primary immune response. And another M, M for malaki. It cannot cross the placenta because of its size. Let's proceed with immunoglobulin E. IgE is involved in release of chemical mediators responsible for immediate hypersensitivity, as in the case of allergy and anaphylaxis. It is also involved in parasitic infections. I remember it as the two is IgE as in allergy and another E, ew, worms for parasitic infections. How about immunoglobulin G? It is also known as gamma globulin and it is the most abundant immunoglobulin. To contrast, IgM is the largest immunoglobulin, but IgG is the most abundant immunoglobulin. It is the main antibody in secondary immune response to an antigen. It is active against bacteria, bacterial toxins, and viruses. It also crosses the placenta and therefore provides infants with passive immunity. The presence of IgG in a laboratory analysis indicates past infection. Looking back at these test kits, the second test kit on the right is IgG positive. It indicates that that patient would have a previous infection. The middle test kit is both IgG and IgM positive. It indicates that the patient has a previous infection and also an active infection. As a mnemonic, IgG, G as in generous, because it is the most abundant, and IgG, G for gestation, it passes through the placenta. How about remembering which one is current and which one is a previous infection, IgG or IgM? So IgG and IgM are like your ex and present lover. G for gago, previous, your ex. M for mahal ka, your current. And lastly, the immunoglobulin A. It appears in body fluids such as the blood, saliva, tears, and breast milk, as well as pulmonary, gastrointestinal, prostatic, and vaginal secretions. It passes to neonate in breast milk for protection. It is also produced in the GI tract and protects against gut infections such as giardiasis. An important concept here is that IgA is passed through the breast milk. So I remember this as IgA, A for Alaska, and Alaska is correlated to milk and then breast milk. To summarize, IgD, D for the no, function not clear. IgM, M for mabilis, first to increase. M for malaki, it does not cross the placenta. IgE, E for allergy, it has role in allergy and hypersensitivity. And another E for EU, it combats parasites or the worms. IgG, G for gestation, it passes through the placenta and confers passive immunity. IgA, A for Alaska, passes through the breast milk. Pause this video, gather your thoughts, and when you are ready, let us have a practice test. Combats parasitic infection. A IgA, B IgG, C IgM, D IgE. You have 5 seconds. The correct answer is D IgE, remembered as IgE, E for EU, worms. What is the predominant immunoglobulin in secondary immune response? Is it IgA, IgG, IgM, or IgE? You have 5 seconds. If you answered IgG, you are correct. What is the largest immunoglobulin? Is it IgA, IgG, IgM, or IgE? You have 5 seconds. The answer is C, IgM. And lastly, if a patient tested positive for typhoid IgM but negative for IgG, it means that the patient has A, no infection, B, current infection, C, previous infection, or D, present and previous infection. You have 5 seconds. And the answer is B, current infection. If you got 4 questions correctly, you did a good job. If not, rewind this video to check your answers. This ends the slide set. Please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Memory Aid Nursing. Thank you.